Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be going through my favourite pieces of merchandise that I collected over the years. So these are pieces of memorabilia to this day that I still cherish. Now, I know there's been a lot of FA recently on my channel, so I thought to make up for that, this would be a fun video to do. So there's a lot to go through, so let's get started. So starting off with books. This is definitely one that I've cherished for years and I absolutely love it to this day, which is Wit, Wisdom and Timey-Wimey Stuff, the quotable Doctor Who. So this is a book full of Doctor Who quotes, you name it, lots of stories packed into this one book, loads of quotes that each Doctor and companion and monster has ever said. It's really useful if I'm ever trying to do impressions, which I'll tell you into a little fact. I'm very bad at impressions. But just to show you, there are some really good ones like The Fires of Pompeii, Full Circle, Mr. Finch, School Reunion. There is a lot, even Trial of a Time Lord. They used to call it in the shining world of the Seven Systems, and on the continent of wild endeavour, in the mountains of solace and solitude, there stood the citadel of the Time Lords, the oldest and most mighty race in the universe, looking down on the galaxies below, sworn never to interfere, only to watch. The children of Gallifrey, taken from their families at the age of 8 to enter the academy. Some say that's when it all began, when he was a child. That's when the Master saw eternity. As a novice, he was taken for initiation. He stood in front of the intempered schism. It's a gap of the fabric of reality, through which could be seen the whole of the vortex. That was an awful impression of David Tennant that I tried to do. Tell me if you like it in the comment section below, but I'll most probably get hate because it was such an awful impression. I'm never doing that again. So yeah, this is definitely one of my favourite books, and I love looking at quotes from some of my favourite stories in the entirety of the show's history, and it's such a fun one. And it's quite an unusual book because you'd normally expect a story or something, but this is actually a quote finder, which is absolutely fantastic. Next, we have Doctor Who The Vault, treasures from the first 50 years. Now, way back in 2013, I think it was Christmas of that year, I got this as a present from my mum and dad, and I still absolutely love it. It goes through each and every episode in Doctor Who. As you can see, we've got some fantastic photo shoots from the 1960s, Susan, Barbara, Chesterton, even William Hartnell there in his little hat and glasses, and probably the most closest bit of merchandise you could get, a little TARDIS, which I have seen in a museum before, fun fact. Yeah, that looks very battered. You've even got the 1970s here. Stunning artwork of John Pertwee there. I absolutely love that photo. It goes through every year, like I say. Even the merchandise that's released, I believe there are even some Weetabix with John Pertwee's face on it, and they're like little badges that you could collect. And we've even got Doctor Who and Daleks, 7 Keys to Doomsday. Really good artwork. You know, some people really pay attention to this and produce some absolutely exquisite artwork. We've even got the incorporated data sphere prop from Destiny of the Daleks. We've even got the Melka there, that's the fitting of the person into the costume. And yeah, this is fantastic. We've got the design for Peter Davison's costume. There is so much to go through. We've got the pterodactyl right there. It's not the most up-to-date book because it only goes up to 2013. And the years onwards from that, it doesn't go through. Obviously, some figures and the adipose and the ood, latex masks and everything. And it basically just goes to the present day. It's such a stunning book. We've even got a bird's eye view of Lime Grove Studios, which was in the first story. I believe that was the studio. They actually produced the first story and An Earthly Child in. So yeah, it's absolutely amazing. It's quite a thick and heavy book. It's very dense. So definitely pick this one up if you can ever find it for a good price. 2 DVDs now. We have Doctor Who Series 1 to 4 box set, which was the first Doctor Who DVD that my parents bought me, actually. I remember this was 2011/2012, that was around the time I was getting into Doctor Who. And I absolutely love this box set. I remember watching every single episode in order with my dad. Obviously we've got the complete 1st to 4th series. I remember absolutely loving all of them. I think Series 4 was my favourite, and it still is actually, of the new series. We've even got this little episode guide, which is just phenomenal. And I've always wondered whether that was artwork or an actual picture that has been edited. I've had it for years now. The box sets themselves, as you can see, we've got Series 4, Series 3, Series 2, and Series 1. Yeah, and some of the discs, I think, are broken, but they still work. Yeah, I absolutely love this one, and I've got very fond memories of these DVDs and absolutely loving them. And guess what? I can't even get them inside. Next, we have one of the most recent collection Blu-ray season box sets, which is the complete season 10, which was released in June 2019, last year. So I absolutely cherished this box set when I got it, because season 10 is quite underrated, I think. It's definitely one of Pertwee's best seasons. I absolutely love Omega, Planet of the Daleks, which is an alright story. It's pretty average, but you've got great stories like Three Doctors, Carnival of Monsters, Frontier in Space, that's another fantastic one, and The Green Death, which is such a phenomenal leaving story for Jo Grant, and it's such a sad scene when she takes off in the car and she drives away. That really brings a tear to my eye every time I watch it. These in box sets, because they are absolutely fantastic. I know they do go for a lot of money now, because I think suddenly all of the stocks went out, and you basically your best luck is Amazon and eBay really for these older ones. But the new ones I think you can find in HMV, Forbidden Planet, places like that really. But yeah, stunning artwork here, which is a little flappable thing, and we've got a little episode guide in there. And the artwork for these DVDs is just fantastic. We've even got John Pertwee there. To get classic seasons in Blu-ray, it's just epic. It's really fantastic, and who would have thought, really? On to figures now. So these are some of my favourites, including classics and New Who. So first we have the Dalek Collector Set 2. Just such a great set if you want to do army building for some classic Daleks. And we have some really dynamic designs. We've got the 60s Dalek Invasion of Earth one with black and silver stripes. It has quite a metallic finish on the silver. And we've got the mesh, which is a lot more simple on the 60s Daleks. And we've got that little shield sort of radar signal thing, which I'm not too sure what it is, but it's probably part of the design. And we've also got the eye stalk, and it's for some reason got that black and silver tube piece. And I would have preferred it if it had a base more similar to this one, which is a lot more thin and streamlined. But nonetheless, it's a great 60s Dalek if you want to do some army building. The Emperor Guard from Evil of the Daleks, and I prefer this one to that one because it's got the thinner base, and we've even got the different mesh. It's more of the sort of stripy one, as opposed to this more simple one. Also got the Egoist, or the Exterminator gun, and the Plunger. Really great design of 60s Dalek. I absolutely love this one. And we've also got the Day of the Daleks Dalek, which is a very metallic gold colour. Now, the reason I picked this one is because it's very unique in comparison to the other Daleks, because it's got such an unusual design. You wouldn't really expect on the classic Daleks to have a gold palette colour, because most of the new series ones have gold, and this one's a bit different. Gold and black are such a fantastic mix together, and we've got slightly thicker base this time. But yeah, I absolutely love these Daleks. They are fantastic for army building. If you ever want some classic Daleks and you can find them for a good price, then I definitely recommend trying to get this set. Or you could obviously get the Dalek Collector Set 1. The next classic figure that I've chosen is a figure that was released way back in Wave 1, which is the classic Sea Devil. Now, I think this has such a unique design. It's a very underrated monster, and I absolutely love the figure. Now, the cloth material works so superbly in such a small scale, and I love how it's very flexible, and you can just simply remove the cloth, but I'm not going to consider doing that because it is very delicate. We also have the little gun ray, which is fantastic. We've even got the little button there, and it clips into his belt very nicely and secure. And if I just focus, the head sculpt is absolutely spot on. It's such a fantastic likeness of these sea devils, and I love them as a villain. And we've got real psychedelic colours around the face and the hands, because you've got orange and green and a bit of brown mixed in there, and we've got the amphibian feet. It is such a fantastic figure. I wish I had more of them. Yeah, it's such a fantastic figure for army building as well, like with the Daleks. I absolutely love this one. On to the final classic figure. Of course, classic Doctor Who is not Doctor Who without a Doctor, so I decided to pick Fourth Doctor. Now, this is just a simple variation of costume they decided to do. This figure hasn't actually been released. I just did a simple head swap with the original, because I thought the solemn head looked a bit better. But yeah, this is the Pyramids of Mars variant of the Fourth Doctor. I absolutely love the costume. It's very iconic for the Fourth Doctor. We've even got the red cravat with the waistcoat, which has got a very crisscross checkered pattern with the reds and yellows and even a bit of grey in there. The face sculpt is spot on. I've always really loved the waistcoat as well. The scarf is very accurate as well with all the psychedelic colours, and it's very vibrant. I absolutely love this variant of the Fourth Doctor. On to the new series now. I think this one was definitely coming. We have the werewolf. Now, a surprising fact about this is that character actually managed to fit this in a standard box, which all the other figures fit in, which I don't know how they managed to do it to this day, because this figure's like 12 inch. I can't even fit it in the camera. Yeah, if we just compare him to the Fourth Doctor, as you can see, he's absolutely massive in comparison. It's just such a vast figure, and I absolutely love the posability. I mean, because it's a big figure, that's an advantage, because you get more posability. You've got articulation at the hands, we've even got a socket at the shoulder. It is a fantastic figure that I've always loved. Fantastic for army building. We have the ultra rare purple one, and then the blue variant. So I think this one was one of the most lowest figures to be ever produced, and for some reason stocks went out when it was released, and it was hardly ever available in any shops. So I managed to find this on like a charity event. It's just £2 really, and I cannot believe I found a rare figure in a little charity box. It was just fantastic really. One of the best features about these figures that make them so more special is that they've got a removable head which reveals the clockwork sort of droid mechanics inside, and I believe that is a bit posable. It's got a bit of articulation. What better way to finish it with the 10th Doctor? Yeah, this is just a standard variant from Series 2. I've always loved this figure. I think I've had quite a few down the line, but most of them are destroyed, so I got this a couple of years ago because I thought, well, it's really the only good condition figure that I'm going to get. So yeah, this one's good condition because I only got it a couple of years back. So it's great to have a Series 2 10th Doctor, and yeah, this one is probably the first figure they ever released, so I'm very fond of it, and I've always really loved this figure. It's quite simple in articulation, but I just love this design. I've always have done. The face sculpt, very sharp, very good likeness. It is just such a magnificent figure.